Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, the start of a new week where Juventus will play twice on the field against PSV tomorrow in Champions League and then the big game of Serie A of Saturday, Juventus-Napoli, in our home, the ex-home of Antonio Conte that will be back. Ragazzi, I tell you immediately the truth, I have been really in difficulty this morning to understand where to focus on the most. Should I focus on Serie A or should I focus on Champions League? Should I start with Champions League or should I start with Serie A? Really, I was in difficulties. Why? Because Serie A, as we speak, is still not over. There are 2 games still to be played this evening to close match day 4. Yesterday, a lot of things happened. And honestly, between you and me, don't tell it to anybody, I still didn't digest that 0-0. Not because we drew, because that can always happen in football. Look at Inter yesterday. But the fact that we didn't try to win until the end. And that's something that I still didn't accept. I wanted some answers. I have more questions than answers as we speak, especially looking at Champions League. So I didn't digest it. And on the other side, I'm extremely super boosted. I'm super enthusiastic. I'm super excited to go back in Champions League after 1 year where we all know why they took us away the possibility to participate to the probably the best, most exciting competition. It's a new format, 24-25. I can't wait to already inaugurate that competition tomorrow because we will be the first one that will step on the field tomorrow against PSV in our home. So you know what? Let's start with the basics. Maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You know it's totally for free. Liking, subscribing, and you're helping me as a content creator a lot. Now that we did the basics, let me know what you are focusing on. Are you focusing on the Champions League already and you already archived that 0-0, or you're still there in the non-acceptation phase? You don't accept, you have still that 0-0 here of Empoli. Let me know because I'm curious. We start with the 2 pages, Corriere and Gazzetta dello Sport, that are speaking about Serie A. Conta Conte. It is Conte that counts. It's Conte that matters. It's Conte that's making the difference in the 4-0 win of Napoli yesterday. On the other side, Gazzetta is giving a more 360-degree vision about what happened in Serie A. Why Napoli is there on top as we speak. Because according to them, it is Inter that is launching Antonio Conte after that draw yesterday 1-1. So if we recap really fast what happened in Serie A, not going to all the games, but the Milan that won 4-0 against Venezia, I'm not certain that it's Milan that is back, that is strong, that is incredible, but I think at the moment it's really a Venezia with a hipster coach, according to me, that is overrated, probably the most overrated coach of Serie A. I think the worst coach of Serie A, Di Francesco, after 28 minutes, you're already losing 4-0. It's a total disaster. So for Milan, I want to wait a bit before saying that they are back. Roma, that is still not winning in Serie A, 4th game, still 4 games without any win. They were recuperated on the result. They drew at the, I believe it was in injury time disaster for Daniele De Rossi, that is also here in discussion. Daniele De Rossi that has been praised last year, especially from Juventini a lot. Wow, look at De Rossi, immediate impact, look what he's doing. I said great, because the results are there, and I love Daniele De Rossi, but let's wait when he will start a real season with a preseason, with training session, and he didn't do it really well. Fantastic, beautiful, entertaining first half of Atalanta-Fiorentina. Really boring second half of Atalanta-Fiorentina. Torino-Lecce 0-0 with Torino that is losing actually the possibility to go on top. And then we go towards that 0 Cagliari for Napoli. You know what is really scaring me? It's not that 4-0 because I watched the game and that 4-0 is not really the reality. It's not really what we saw yesterday on the field. Cagliari, they would never deserve to lose 4-0, but they did. They did, and you know what is really scary? The fact that Antonio Conte, Napoli, is not perfect yet, but they are winning. They have a lot of things to work on because the team is at the moment not at the maximum of their best, but they are winning. After that first disaster game, it's win, win, win. Look at yesterday, the 4-0 is exaggerated, but they do it. The 2-1 against Parma, it's totally a disaster because they should have lost that game. They were playing at a certain moment against 10 Parma men for 25 minutes, I believe, of 20 minutes with a player that was in the goal, but they win it. They do it. And this is what Antonio Conte loves the most. It's the story, you know, like bizarre stories, but at the end you're able to win it. And that's what's scaring me a lot about Napoli. And then probably the only joy of Serie A for us Juventini was the fact that we didn't see Inter running away at 10 points, because yesterday they drew 1-1 against Monza. They are actually doing the same mistake that they did against Genoa in the first game, where they entered the field. We are Scudetto holders, we have that ego, we are the best one, tranquilli, we don't need to accelerate, that Serie A is already in our pocket. Yesterday they did the same, but this time thinking about Champions League, Inzaghi probably exaggerated with a lot too much rotation. Good for us. Good for us. Hopefully they will continue to do these mistakes of ego, because I think that at the moment, as we speak, it's the only thing that can make Inter lose the Scudetto. That ego problem that they have, that we already saw in 2 out of 4 games. I finished Serie A chapter with one thing. You know what else yesterday caught my eyes? And it will probably be an off-topic discussion, but the fact that yesterday we saw, yesterday and the day before, Ealing Jr. at the 96th minute scoring for Bologna, the Winter scoring for Genoa and making points, because both of them brought points to their teams. Moiskin yesterday, a goal, a post, really beautiful performance of Moiskin, and then at the end we even saw Dani Motta scoring first a really beautiful goal against Inter to take the advantage, the lead at the 80th minute, something like that. Well, these 4 players, they all went to the youth academy of Juventus Football Club. Not that I'm here to praise Juventus, but on the other side, I'm here to say, you remember that big plusvalenza, -15, -10, a fee, not participating in Champions League last year because of plusvalenza, because we were selling our player too much, because we were doing... Ragazzi, I think that we are really facing consequences now. If a Barrenechea, an Ealing Jr., a Moiskin were sold for these price tags that we all saw, and some people were even saying Juventus has been held by Aston Villa, by Fiorentina. It's disgusting what they are doing. Look at that. They are overvaluing their player. Guys, I think that really we were undervaluing our player. And we are the only club that is obliged to write a papyrus to say, look, we sell him for 8 million euro, Barrenechea, for example, or Barrenechea. Because of this is the value. We are using a tool to give us the most accurate value of a player. It's totally strange, Totally strange. I think that the Barrenechea and Ealing Jr. were much worth of what we sold them. So I think that this is really a problem that Juventus will have to face in the next coming year, being obliged actually to sell players probably less than what they are worth. If you're looking at Serie A has been Matchday 4 influenced by our next-gen players, and I think this is a reality. But okay, enough speaking about Serie A. We go towards the other topic. Again, Champions League. Again, Champions League against Champions League. You know, there is one thing that I told you in the intro of this video. I still didn't digest the Empoli game. I'm still there in that limbo. Serie A or Champions League? Champions League or Serie A? Well, that's the mistake that our players should not do. That's what they need to avoid now. I'm a supporter. I don't count who cares about Beppe, but I can still not sleep, stay awake about that 0-0. They should already focus on the next game. We archive. We learn from our mistakes. We worked on them. And now we think about the next game. We think about PSV and only about PSV. We don't think about Napoli. We don't think about Serie A. We don't think that we are not there first anymore at the ranking after Matchday 4. We need to think about PSV. We need to think about Champions League. We have 8 games and we need to do the maximum of points starting tomorrow, because PSV, we have the possibility to beat them in our home. With PSV that will miss a few of their important players. PSV that is in a fantastic form in Eredivisie, but now it's Champions League. Juventus will have to do well. They should avoid thinking about the past, about the future. They should avoid having shaky legs for a lot of players that will play their first minutes in Champions League, but just one focus: winning the game of PSV. You know, when I told you that it was difficult for me to make that transition, I'm always on that because actually it is the topic of the video. It's on the other side, it's good. It's really, really good. I'm not used anymore to it, because last year we were playing once a week. When you won, you had 1 week to speak about it, like in the beginning of the season, the first part of the season. In the second part, it was really extremely difficult because you draw or you lose a game, and for an entire week, You think about it. You have these negative thoughts. You are in that negative spiral, and it's one day after the other. Controversy. Why didn't we do that? Why did we play that? Why this? Why that? Now we have the opportunity to really, okay, we did that. Now we focus on the rest. It's a new competition. It's a total new competition that we can start from zero, from scratch. So think about that with positive intentions, with positive feelings. And that's something that I will have to, again, regulate myself on. Tomorrow we start Juventus PSV. At the same time, there will be Young Boys against Aston Villa. Then 4 other games at 9 p.m. Italian time: Bayern Munich Zagreb, Milan Liverpool, Sporting CP against Lille, and Real Madrid Stuttgart. So 4 beautiful games also in the evening. It will be difficult to choose the game that you really want to see. What is the planning for today? 11 a.m. we start training. 15 first minutes are always open to the media in Champions League. Then at 1:30 p.m. there will be the press conference of Thiago Motta with a player. I don't know who will be that player. I'm hesitant between a Federico Gatti or a Danilo. And if I would have to bet today, I would go for Danilo. Danilo next to Thiago Motta. Let's see if it will be true or not. Then the press conference of Bosch, that will be at 5:15, and they will train in our stadium at 6 p.m. Italian time. That's for today. What about tomorrow? The newness? Well, we never know about the starting lineups of Thiago Motta. It's always a mystery. But of course, Kefren Thuram will have possibilities to start from the beginning. Di Gregorio back in the goal. And then also possibly a Danilo from the first minute. I told you Danilo, I was not expecting him to start against Empoli, but I thought there were some chances to see him in Champions League. So let's see. We need to be faster, much faster than against Empoli. And we should not isolate Dusan Vlahovic. We should find him. Guys, there were a lot of debates recently about Dusan Vlahovic after the Roma game, after the Empoli game. And it's totally correct, but now it's the moment to stick with him because we have no other choice. There is no other player. You know, it's not that you say, okay, Dusan, go on the bench and we play Trezeguet, we play Tevez, we play Cristiano Ronaldo, we play Pipita Higuain. They are not there. So it's him or nobody. So let's stick with Dusan Vlahovic and find a way to be next to him, to be close to him. That's what Juventus will need to do tomorrow. The good thing is that tomorrow, it's Champions League. It's a total different competition than in Serie A. And we are playing against a PSV that last year won the Scudetto of Eredivisie, their title. They did a fantastic campaign. 29 wins, 4 draws only, and only 1 loss for PSV. That started, and that's really the big thing, with continuity also this season. With 6 games played. 1 was the Cup of Johan Cruyff. They drew and then they went to the penalties that they lost. But all the other games they won. They won and they scored so much. They are there, isolated on top with 15 out of 15. 20 goals already scored, 3 goals conceded. So pay attention to tomorrow because they have a lot of good players. And Luc de Jong is of course the most representative player from PSV. They have Till that already scored 4 goals. Lozano, 4 goals. Lozano will not be there tomorrow, which is good for Juve. The Noah Lang, that is a really Belgium good player. Well, pay attention. Not Belgium. It's a Dutch player. It's not the Belgian player. Bakayoko is the Belgian player that is really good at the moment. So they are really having good players. Some in doubt. They are not all at their best, at their form physically. So let's see. But it's a player it's a team that is attacking, and that's where Juventus will have the choice to show our game. Juventus, they hate to play against the 3-5-2 teams or the teams that are going with 3-5-2 but actually playing with 5 men in defense, but they have some difficulties. We already noted it since the beginning of the season. Teams of Thiago Motta have difficulties against teams that are blocked. Well, now we have an open game, which Juventus will have to take the benefits from it. And we finish with the last news about Adrien Rabiot to l'Olympique de Marseille. Guys, I'm totally surprised. I would never have believed in that one a few weeks ago. If one of you told me, Pepe will go to l'OM, I would have laughed. I would have mocked you. Honestly, yeah. It's true. But it's a reality apparently because L'Équipe, un minot nommé Rabiot, front page of Rabiot, Le Figaro as well, Fabrizio Romano, Nico Schira, they are all saying it will be a done deal. I was thinking he would have stayed or at Juve extending his contract, or he would have gone to another club playing Champions League with the possibility of winning it, like the words of his mother also, agent mother. And that's not the case because he's going to l'OM. I was thinking Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain. Tell me, we heard Chelsea, Manchester United that is not playing the Champions League but still an important club that wants to go back in their glory days. and maybe starting again with Adrien Rabiot. Well, it looks like it's not the choice that Rabiot made. Now, Rabiot has always been really secret. It's not a player that is speaking a lot in the media. It's a player that prefers to do things on his own and then coming out with a decision. Sometimes it's surprising, because who would have expected him without Champions League of Juve to extend one more year? None of us. And he did. Before this year, all of us were thinking he would stay with Thiago Motta, and he didn't. A lot of time, the career of Adrien Rabiot has been secret with unpopular decisions. So I don't know the motives why Marseille. One thing that I can tell you, it's not about the money. Because a lot of people told me here on the channel, Beppe, but the guy and his entourage are only thinking about money. It's glory hunter. That's the only drive they have. Well, if, like Fabrizio Romano is saying, despite a lot of rich offers, he refused Saudi Arabia, he refused other clubs that were offering more. Well, that theory about money is not valid anymore, and that's one. Then that Champions League competition, could he have gone in bigger clubs? Yes, of course they were. Even Atletico Madrid tried recently because they lost their objective and they wanted to go with him. Not that he could play Champions League immediately because the lists were done, but entering that knockout stages in Champions League with Atletico Madrid that we are all expecting to go through. And he decides to go to Marseille. It's a total different career way in terms of club, because let's not lie, OM is not Juventus, is not Madrid, is not Barcelona. Even if, guys, I tell you, l'Olympique de Marseille is a historical club. Play at the Velodrome. Play at the Velodrome. Mamma mia. If you are able to win the Ligue 1 title over PSG this year with Marseille, it's something crazy. Huh? It's something totally crazy. Then is it the challenge to say, oh, I really loved working with Max Allegri. I want to go to the total opposite. I want to go to De Zerbi. I want to go to De Zerbi, where I can grow even more. I will challenge myself. Can I also play the game of De Zerbi? Can I challenge myself? Can I prove maybe people wrong that I'm also a technical player? Can be, eh? You put yourself again in the game at Marseille with a short contract. It can work, can break. And then let's see what I can do next. It could be, I have no idea. What I know is that I am extremely surprised of the choice of Marseille. But what I'm even more surprised about is the Juventini that are celebrating, like, I don't know, like Napoli that are celebrating the 1-0 win over Juve, and then they lose the Scudetto. This is what really surprised me. Sometimes people are really naughty, eh? Celebrating what they consider failure, because you're in your sofa, the guy is playing at the Velodrome. What they consider failure, celebrating that. I don't agree with that. Especially not towards a man, a human being, that has always respected Juve. And I can tell you at first person, you know that I never speak about the relation I have with some players, the text, the messages, etc. But I can guarantee on Adrien Rabiot, because I met him in real life a few times. We spoke with each other. If there is one person that always respected Juve, it's Adrien Rabiot. And I can also confirm you that from the entire Juve offices and people that were in contact with him in the 5 years at Juve have always respected Juve. And that's why I don't understand. Sometimes we prefer going with idols and regretting people that probably in big hypocrisy made like the shiny tweet with the beautiful words, with a beautiful picture, I love Juve, with whatever. And we believe them, we love them because we love the player. And then sometimes there are some players that have always been correct, open, respectful with the people of Juve. And we are celebrating their failure. It's something I will never understand. But anyway, it is what it is. Good luck to Adrien Rabiot. He's not a Juve player since long time. I wish him the best for him, his career, like I wish the best to Federico Chiesa, to Liverpool, and to Ealing Jr., to Aston Villa, and now at Bologna. As long as they don't do as good as Juve, then I'm happy. Grazie Juventini, grazie, forza, Juve.